Hey, what's up, guys? This is Ocean Phoenix, and you are watching Blvck Roses, powered by Mastermind Connect and the Rebel Camp. So we're very excited to be with you this afternoon. And if you don't know what Blvck Roses is about, this is all about sex, love, romance, relationships. And this idea actually was started by you guys. I did a post on my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, Ocean Phoenix. And I just started talking about sex, love, and relationships. And would you like to hear from a male perspective? Of course, including the ladies, because you can't exclude the ladies. And you guys are the reason that the Blvck Roses exists. So I'm very excited today because this topic was actually chosen by the public once again. And it's all about dating during COVID. Now, we all know dating during COVID is no easy task. You just can't go out to a bar anymore or a club or a nightlife or whatever in a social setting and just simply meet somebody. People have masks on. There's a lot of restrictions. And a lot of folks have been relegated to two things. They've been relegated to dating apps and websites, and they've been relegated to sliding in the DM on social media. So we're going to get into it today, and I have two of possibly my favorite people, very opinionated people. So I just want to reference right now, the thoughts and opinions of these two individuals are theirs and theirs solely. Mastermind Connect and the Rebel Camp take no responsibility for them. But we're going to get into it today. Once again, my name is Ocean Phoenix. This is brought to you by the Mastermind Connect, which is a men's group helping men elevate their game in all aspects of their life, and the Rebel Camp, which is a self-development platform. But first, I want to bring to the stage, and it's ladies first. This is my homegirl, Denise. We call her Dominican Denise. You know what I'm saying? If you know Denise, life party. You know what I'm saying? Look, I mean, you look at Denise, you're looking fine. I ain't gonna lie.
Thank you, my brother.
Right now, you know what I'm saying? The makeup is on point. I love it. You got the background going on. You setting the mood.
Artwork, everything.
So,
thank you, Ocean.
So Denise, welcome. And I wanna just first say thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're super busy. If you could just give a second to let the people know who you are.
Well, thank you, Ocean. My name is Denise Felipe Adams, and I work for the Brooklyn Borough President, also mayoral candidate Eric Adams. Everyone knows what they see is what they get. People know me as Dominican Denise because I'm very loud. Not loud on purpose, but with good intention of just bringing the party. And I'm just being me, free.
Denise, you one thing about you, I won't call it loud. You have spirit.
Thank you.
When you walk in the room, we turn it up.
That's for sure. You got that right.
Rick's gonna turn up. The party gonna turn up. So thank you for being with us, Denise. Now, my next person I want to introduce. This is my boy, one of my bike life brothers right here. Also, somebody who is as passionate about men's health and men's wellness as me. We got my boy Justin coming in. Justin Adams.
Good evening, everybody.
Hey, old blue eyes. What's going on, man?
Yeah, we got a whole room of Adams in the house.
Yeah. It's going down. The Adams family in the building.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on the Blvck Roses. This is awesome.
Absolutely. So, Justin, I've known you for a while, man. And, I love your opinions just on dating, relationships, love, sex, romance, all those good things. But before we jump into this broadcast today, just please let the people know who you are. Who's Justin Adams?
Well, I'm just a guy. I'm a man, right? Mm-hmm. And just been through a lot of trials and tribulations, a lot of experiences, learning, and I've made it my purpose to give back and try to help men become better men, and just grow in the ways that they can't. And I just help them with some guidance.
I love it, man. You're doing really amazing work. I forgot it's the Forge Project is the official name of the.
Yep. Forge Project. I run I've got my own podcast going on, talk about various issues, and have guests on. You're going to be on pretty soon, and and we just kind of get down to nitty gritty stuff of things that guys need to hear these days.
Yeah, and I didn't want to. What we'll do is we're going to share social medias on all that. I didn't want to butcher the social media. I'll let you guys share that at the end of this broadcast, but you guys got to stick around for that. So, man, COVID is some bullshit. COVID is some. I saw a meme that said, "Damn, I was just about to get my life together." That COVID, yeah, right? So we all know, man, COVID has affected every area of our life, business, friendships, relationships. We couldn't see our loved ones for a while. Some of us still can't see our loved ones, but we're all human beings, and we all want love, man. We all want love. We either want love, sex, romance, or the F word, whatever it is, whatever your thing is. In your opinion, I'll start off with you, Justin. How has COVID changed the landscape as far as dating is concerned?
Well, I mean, I guess the obvious thing is that people have more fear, and not, and it's not like they didn't have enough fear to begin with. Right? Now there's this added layer that they have to deal with on top of what they're already walking around with. So and some of it's like extra imposed depending on their makeup mentally. So yeah, they got lots to deal with out there, I think, with just the added layers of fear and like not even knowing what to do.
And as a man, for you, look, there's this whole debate whether dating is harder for men or harder for women. We can't deny dating is harder for women. All right. But as a man, for you, has it been more beneficial for you? Let's keep it real, because the cards are kind of in our favor when it comes to the online practice of dating.
Well, let's make it real. I mean, it's in our favor, but it's not in the favor of all guys. So let's be real. Let's be real. So, but it's frankly, I didn't notice a difference. Because it's like I am who I am, wherever I am, no matter the circumstances. The only thing different that I notice is in public when you're talking to people is having that awareness of being like, okay, people have different viewpoints. People are not going to be okay with you just being right up and close, talking to them, and that's fine. But you can still talk to people, right? I talk to people every day, so it really doesn't matter. The only thing I don't like, I miss seeing pretty faces. That's the only thing that I miss.
So no, I completely agree with you. And Denise, question for you. And the first question was, how has COVID, the landscape of dating changed since COVID has reared its ugly ass head?
Good question, but for me, I'll concur with what Justin said. It's been almost the same for me because I just really been busy with work. Government agencies have been really inundated with more requests because of COVID, but my personal experience has been a little funny. It's easier for men really to find quality or just fun people, especially with the mask on. But as a woman, I've noticed there's been a lot of like a little crazy folks out there.
Okay.
And then the topics, it come off a lot of, there's a lot of testosterone energy when they find me and have been introducing themselves, and I say, hey, keep a distance, because I myself say keep a distance. But I think COVID really showed us to reveal the truth about ourselves, and then also reveal and just be a little bit more transparent and see other people too in a little different light. That's been my experience, a little different light.
Now, and thank you for sharing, but this whole thing of it's nothing new, obviously, but online dating, I love talking about this because, guys, I tried online dating for a month and I hated it. It felt like a goddamn meat market, and you get it. It's like almost like an interrogation. That's how I felt. I don't want to hog this up. So I want to know how you guys feel about online dating, and has it changed, since this pandemic has started? Have you guys, better question, online dated?
Yeah, I'll take that first. I mean, like I said, for me, it's not changed. So in the sense that I'm still gonna be talking to people no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm not using that as an excuse, right? That said, I think that, like, with a lot of guys that I talk to, they already had fear talking to women on the get-go. So they revert into the safety of being online. Now they have this added excuse to be online even more. And I call them on the bullshit all the time. It's like, well, you didn't go to Target today? How many people did you talk to? Right.
Right.
And so they hide behind it. And I think people still hide behind it. But now it's even more because of COVID. And they have this legitimate excuse. And they're just like, oh, I don't want to like talk to people. And it's like, well, you know, like you're being a bitch. Like just get out there and talk to people. Don't be so scared. But they want to hide behind it because it's very safe. But honestly, my experience, I mean, it's fine. You just got to know how to talk to women online, in person. It shouldn't make a difference. And I feel like it's kind of like Amazon. I'm serious. I'm serious. It's like I feel like it's like Amazon, and you like just going shopping for that, like that trying to get the best quality you can with the least amount of expenditure, and that's like the kind of mentality, right? But you go out in the world, that's like shopping for something American, right? It's American made, and you're like, damn, okay, this is gonna cost me, right? But I'm gonna get quality. So when you're out there talking to people and sharing your energy like face to face, it demands more of you as a human being, right? You go online, it's like what small percentage of your mental and emotional. I mean, unless you're a total fucking simp and you get bent out of shape if somebody doesn't respond to you, but you know, it's really, really kind of plastic. Like, I don't know. I mean, I've gone on some dates, absolutely, from like online dating, but it's just, I don't know. It's not my favorite. I enjoy more face to face.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, Justin. For me, I don't do online dating. I'm gonna be honest. I've never tried it. I've heard the comments of my friends. I live vicariously through their stories. So that has been a nightmare. And I just toasted them and said, "You're never gonna get me on an online dating app." However, he's coming at that ocean. However,
I'm about to get at you real quick. Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you. It's funny because a funny joke. Even my sister, and I'm pretty sure she's watching this. She actually matched up with somebody who I introduced her to, who's been hollering at me for a minute, who I know in person. So it was funny that they actually matched. So that I found very funny. I've done speed dating. I've done other things. But I would definitely tell you this. I agree with both of you. It's like a meat market, according to my friends. And even on having social media, a lot of people get onto my DMs. I prefer to do let me go to the store, let me feel you, let me exchange energy with you, only because at this age and this rate, there's a lot of terminology for like homosexual, whatever. There's a whole bunch of things, and people were looking for shelter. I think that COVID made a lot of people realize that they just wanted to be with somebody, regardless if they were compatible. I personally went through an experience like that for a couple of weeks with someone where I was just like red flag, and I told them, look, we're not compatible.
Wait, Denise, let me stop you. Wait a minute. You met somebody and they just didn't want to go home?
No, nobody comes to my house. First of all, let's get that straight.
Okay,
right. Stuff in my family, and that's it. Because
Denise, let me ask you a question. Okay, so you're single.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right? Let's talk about this. Let's not judge, because my boy Manny is up in here right now. He just left this comment. He said he met his wife at a meat market, and they're very compatible. That, like, even physically, like, they make a great couple.
I know.
Now hold on. Is it more of a preference, or are you afraid to put yourself out there on that?
No, I would say it's a preference.
Okay.
It's a preference only because of the work that I do, and sometimes I don't know if people want to get with me because of, because they want to access something else.
Okay.
So that's the only reason why. Yeah, work related. I just prefer to just meet people where they don't see my title, don't see anything else, and get to meet me. And that's what I actually like. I like personality. I don't like all your credentials. I want to date you, who you are, stripped from everything that you accomplished. Because at the sole purpose, like, how are we going to really be compatible? So yeah, Manny's situation, yes, his wife, and they both mentioned it to me. I love that they were compatible. I think in the era that they met, it was still good and clean and fun. It wasn't this whole, I want to link up with you and then have a quickie and then keep it moving. Now it's just getting ridiculous.
No judgment on that, but I'll come, Justin. No judgment on the last part of that conversation. We're gonna talk about that shit. Great, Justin. I know you want to talk about that now, but before we do this, right? Let's talk. Let's talk woman sliding in the DM. Let's talk DMs. We're gonna go to DMs. We're gonna go down a whole fucking rabbit hole here. All right, Justin. You're an able-bodied man. You got the kind of Paul fucking Bunyan thing going on. You look like a movie star and shit. Like, I'm sure you get women that slide in your DMs. Now, do you prefer or do you mind when a woman slides in your DMs? Is that something that you're open to? Or
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like a preference, but I mean,
do you mind it?
No, not at all. But I mean, it's usually bullshit in the sense that it's really hard to see. That's the whole thing with online communications. You have to be good at it, right? It takes a certain skill to convey your heart and your mind in a way that they can really read you. And not many people have that ability. Okay. And they know how to write creatively that can spark your feelings just through reading something, right? I'm sorry to say, but like the average girl who's DM'd me cannot do that. Now, props to having the courage, okay? Props to having the courage for writing to a guy and just saying, hey, okay? Because
that's really all they say.
Right, but because it's nerve-wracking. I get it, okay? Yeah. But it's like, okay, you're sexy. You said hi. Show me who you are. And I understand if you don't know what you're doing, that's hard. That's really, really hard, right? And it's like, Mike, I know you, right? But if I were to just see you online, okay, whether it's through the Rebel Camp or your personal IG or whatever, I still get no sense of you versus like, you know, we go and share a drink or we go and have something to eat or just go and talk. Like you just can't, it's like, unless you've got a solid understanding of how to communicate online, it's not going to work. And that's a problem because a lot of guys, they hide behind the screen, but they don't know how to use it properly. So no judgment on it, really. I personally just don't like it, but you got to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So thank you for that comment. And Denise, I got a question for you, but I just want to bring this up from Selena Carter. I want to see Denise run for office. Would love to see. I don't know who that is, but very random. Face-to-face gives you a better sense of that person. I'd rather feel your energy in person than try to feel you out online. Yeah, no doubt. But, you know, look, okay, Selena, let me be devil's advocate here. Let me bust your bubble real quick. The month and a half that I did do online dating, because my boy convinced me to do it, I hated it. I was getting matched up with my homegirls. I'm like, oh, that's my homie. Right? I'm like, that's the homie. She's screen capping, like, what the fuck are you doing on here? And I'm like, hey, whatever. So, you know, the thing about that is like, I remember hitting up this girl. I was like, she was really cute, you know, matched physically, everything. I like what she had to say, little spiritual, little ratchet, like I like them. And she's like, hey, what's up? You look great. When is the last time you got a COVID test? And I was just like, that was like the second thing she said. And it was like, it kind of messed up any like possibility of romantic linkage. So what do I say after that? You know, oh no, I'm going to City MD on Thursday. So should I holler at you then, or should we continue this now? So as much as we all love to meet people and feel out their energy, there is that barrier. So this is why we're having that conversation tonight. And Selena, we'll talk about that offline or whatever like that. But Denise, let's get back to these DMs because it definitely goes down in the DMs.
Yes.
Have you ever, because you got a lot of pride, and I like busting your chops, right? Have you ever slid in a man's DMs? Yeah, I'm just talking about even like, I saw you post about ice cream. I like ice cream too. Like shit like that. Have you ever slid in a man's DMs with the intention of hoping that the romantic romance would link?
So I've slid in DMs, but not with the intention of romantic. Sorry to disappoint you. I slid into DMs. I got DM, because there was something I literally had to compliment or something that they posted because, you know, I'll give props. I'm very supportive, or I highlight an outfit or whatever. I'm very genuine with my compliments. But like Justin said, I also know that role. I have that in the back of my mind that sometimes guys don't want you to really like be so harsh on them. If I'm gonna make the move, the initiative, hold up. If I'm gonna make the initiative, I'm gonna do that in person. I'm not gonna do it in IG so that someone can feel my energy. And you know, if you don't like me, you just don't like me. And I could take rejection personally because it teaches me something as well. But that whole private behind the scene, that was the number one issue I had is with this one particular guy from, you know, right before the new year. 2020 told me a lot of things, and I dead ass had to tell him, red flag, homie, I'm cutting you off. I blocked him. He went in on me in the DM instead of on my phone. I'm like, dude, like, you're that immature. You live behind social media. So yeah, like Justin was saying, thank you for what you're doing, Justin, with these guys. But if you go in on me via social media, even if it's private, it's still not so, I don't even know how to take it too personal, but at the same time, like, you're crazy. That literally I just people, you're crazy. Because you can't read my energy through a text. Whatever you read, whatever you're reading it with your own energy. And then you're gonna apply that energy and say, hey Denise, why you gave me an attitude? And I'm like, and I could just be like drinking champagne. I'm like, attitude. I'm feeling good about myself.
I'm Dominican Denise. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your problem? You know what I mean? Brooklyn Bob. You know what I mean? Fuck that shit. You know?
And then I'm so focused on other things that I'm like,
right. You're a career woman. You're looking somebody that can match your frequency, basically, right?
Spiritually more, and yeah, definitely my frequency, and understand a little more of where that I have my masculine energy on when I'm working. Yeah. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I don't know how to flip the switch and be feminine.
You definitely have your masculine energy on when you're working. I've seen rooms just shut everybody down.
Yeah, but I'm working. But once I'm pretty sure you see me behind the scene because you guys are my brothers, and you see how I fall back, and I'm feminine. I'm like, you know, my energy is off. I want to just chillax and have fun. I'm a little pussycat when I'm home. I tell people, if you really get to know me, I want to be, you know, pampered. But I think a lot of guys nowadays, especially like I said with this COVID thing, the guys who are very insecure, they've been pushing on me with the whole, you're too alpha energy, you're too masculine, and I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, what are you talking about? But I also noticed that that's been an excuse to basically say, like one dude said to me, hey, I think we both have sexual frustrations. Maybe we should just have sex, get it out the way, and then move forward. And I was like, yeah, right.
Well, Denise, slow down. Let's come. We're all adults here, all right?
Yeah.
And I want to park that. Keep that energy. Don't forget what you just said. Justin, putting you on the spot right now. We are all grown, right? There's that person that we're just like, damn, they can get it, you know. But you know, I'm busy. I'm a career man. I'm a career woman, and you know, sometimes you just want to have fun, right? I don't see the problem. This is not me. This is not me anymore. I don't see the problem in engaging somebody for purely sexual tryst, right? Let's say he doesn't start off like that asshole, right? He doesn't start off like, hey, you know, I'm getting off at 6:30. You like ham? Want to come over to the house, you know, and do the lovemaking thing? No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a guy that comes at you with some poetic stuff. You know, he may be spiritually inclined or whatever. You feeling this vibe, and you're like, whoa, okay, damn, all right. Justin, let's talk about this. Are women in denial about the, as we call it, us old people, the booty call? Are they in denial? Because I feel like a lot of women take this self-righteous role, not saying you Denise, about what they want in a man and all this. But if I screen cap my DMs right now,
don't.
It doesn't say that. You know, like their wall, their Facebook says one thing, and then the DMs say another.
Well, of course. I mean, we have we have either the fortunate or unfortunate pressures of what women do of having to maintain a certain image and a certain standard. So, and of course, I mean, you got so many fucking hungry dudes out there that you don't know who's a fucking psychopath, right? I mean, you seriously, like a friend of mine, he's dating coach. He's like, women, y'all shouldn't be afraid of players because they're straight up honest with you. They'll tell you what they're there for. Also, a man, like a real fucking man, he will tell you exactly why he's in front of you. Okay, those nice guys. So you ever watch those like murder mysteries, right? Who's the fucking killer? He's like, oh, he just stuck to his own. He was quiet. He lived by himself and his cat. He had a nice job at the grocery store. Nobody paid attention to him. And the next thing you know, he's chopped that woman up and put her in the back and dropped her in the lake.
It's the cat,
right? So
you're right.
So it's that dude, and it's like, and those are the guys who are like on social media, who or on dating apps, and like, oh, I'm just a nice guy.
Yeah.
If I was a woman, I'd be scared out of my pants of that dude. I'd be scared to hell of that kind of dude. The dude who's just coming up. Yeah, exactly, Andrew. Ted Bundy was ultra. So, but I mean, that's the other side of it. But anyways, I would be scared to so I understand that women have to deal with if you want to fuck, it's really hard if you want to get out there, because you let that energy out there and it's like dumping chum in the water and all these sharks just start, so you don't know what you're going to get. So you got to play extra careful, and I get it. So I imagine it's got to be really frustrating, because I imagine women get just as horny as guys do. Right?
Oh, yeah, we do. Yes, we do.
And so it's like, fuck, like, what do I do? Like, I want to feel the presence of a man, but I don't want to give that to some fucking weirdo or some loser, because I don't want to waste my time. Mm-hmm. So I get it. I imagine it's got to be incredibly frustrating.
So I want to chime in on that, Justin. So I'm going to give the woman's perspective on that. Now it's going to get hot and spicy. So one, a woman who's savvy, who's been out there and dating, we already know, and I'm going to include myself, we already know that nice don't pay the bills, and nice doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be good sexual partners. And I'm only going to stick on that topic. So booty call, we still use the terminology booty call, or like us girls, like we say trick or whatever. It's just a moment thing, a fuck boy, whatever you want to call it. They do exist. Like my sister said in the chat, it's how about if we just have like that buddy thing, but without catching feelings? Because some of the guys do catch feelings for girls, and vice versa. A lot of girls get attached depending on their status. They do get attached to some guys. Me personally, and the girls that I hang out with, the people in my age group and whatever, we're more like, look, we already know what it is. I've been married, I'm divorced. We know what it is. One, just be honest with me. And two, let me have a choice if I just want to be that person for you, or we just going to do this. And then on top of that, if like I had told my ex, who I said came around, for the holidays, I had this conversation with him too, is give me the opportunity to choose, and then you could hold it against me if I caught feelings or if I said something. But every 3 months, we should definitely touch base and reevaluate the relationship, so I can find out where you're at and where I'm at. That way we remain friends, or we just, cut it off. Because there's some people that I've been around that I said, you'll be perfect one of my friends. They were not because they were nice, it was because of compatibility. And at this age and this time that we're in, everyone, for some strange reasons, recycled each other. It happens in the gay community a lot. And in the straight community, everything else, I don't want to like misinterpret something, so please don't hold it against me. Some way, somehow, someone's going to meet somebody that you had when you were like 18, 17, 25, 40, whatever. The whole point is that as you mature, allow me to have a fresh slate without you tainting it. One, don't judge me if I decide, because there's moments where I tell my friends, look, this is the hoism moment. I don't want a boyfriend. I just want to, like, if I meet somebody, I want to have fun and keep it moving. But right now in the stage I'm in, I'm like, no, I want somebody who's more compatible. I want something more solid. So people just need to be honest with where they're at the moment. That's it. Be honest with yourself. Say it to everybody else. And you can't get mad at me if I say, dude, I let you know I wasn't ready for a relationship, or vice versa. right now I tell people very clearly, if you don't think that you want longevity, don't waste my time because I don't want it. That was what the crazy guy did to me. He was more like, I want a wife, but you ain't a husband. You a trick. You know what I'm saying? You a trick. So,
Come on, I think this is the clip we're gonna use for this.
Nah, that's all messed up. No king's gonna be sitting there like if he's like a king or whatever you want to call it, real fucking man. He's not gonna be like, oh, I want a wife, I want a wife, I want a wife. Like he knows what he wants, and he doesn't have to fucking advertise that shit. And women of quality are gonna see that and be like, oh, I want to get with that, right? Mm-hmm. I want to show that I'm quality, that I'm able to be that kind of queen. And like that's you got to run fast from dudes who want to be all fucking hungry like that. Yeah, that's not some real shit.
So you know, we talked about one thing, and I like the fact that we're all sort of in the same age range, right? We look good goddamn for our age, goddamn it.
Oh, I'm sexy as fuck.
You know what I'm saying? It's a good fucking trio right here. You know what I'm saying? So check this out. I got a question because check this out. Now you bring up the age thing, right? Mm-hmm. And Justin, I want to go to you on this. It's weird, man. You know, when I first started dating again, I was dating like this younger woman, and I wasn't single in like 8 years. So it was like it was like Shawshank Redemption and shit. Like I was like, oh my God, cars, right? It's like I haven't been out in public forever. And I started dating this girl, you know, and it just moved so quickly that I liked her, but she wouldn't go home. I was like, hey, can I call you an Uber? And I was being a gentleman. She was like, call me an Uber for what? And I was just like, oh, so this is going down tonight. And maybe it was just because I haven't been single in so long. And I was just like, all right, cool. I mean, look, I took care of my business. I didn't kick her out, you know, but it was just such a difference. I will say this. I do love the courting process.
Me too.
And that courting process for me is fun. And I'll give you one from a very egotistical standpoint. Men, we're conquerors naturally, especially like just to say, if like you're a king, like you want to conquer some shit, and not conquer in a way where I want to weaken your queendom or whatever like that. I want to
plunder.
Oh yeah, I want to empower you, but I want you to sit next to me on my throne. But I want to work a little bit. I don't want to just be like, God damn, I knew you for 24 hours. After that time, after that, I was with that woman. She like hit me like 5 days later. Was like, yo, I love you, and I was like, I said, well, what's my last name?
Oh, good idea.
She couldn't even say my last name. I was like, you don't know me. I was like, you don't love me. Like, what are you talking about? So I said, I will never date a woman in that age range again. Like, it was like
20. What's the age range?
It was like 29. I'm 42. She was like 29, 30 years old. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, man, there's too much gap. I'm playing music and shit. You don't know what the song is. Like, you know, this.
Well, that's also hormone spike for women at that age.
Right. Super like crazy. And I noticed that a lot of women in that age range started to come on to me or whatever like that, because it's something that I think that they think they want. And I'm just like, you don't like, no, like just, you probably need somebody like a little older than you or a little younger than you, but like, that's way too much of an age gap, you know, as far as maturity is concerned.
Let me address something that Justin said, because as a woman, I'm not going to allow you to be like a hormone spike, blah, 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 because we have it at all time. But I think what you necessarily meant to say was more, that's a time that a lady is almost looking at her clock, her biological clock of having babies. So that's a time frame, especially when you're about to hit 30. A woman is like, I need to lock somebody down and have a baby if they don't have kids. Let me be very clear on that, because I personally don't have children, and I'm about to be 40 in 2 weeks. And I just tell people, please do not put pressure on me. And I don't believe in clocks. But I did notice that when I was turning 30, I was thinking a little differently. And now that I'm going to be 40, I'm like, it's a whole different thought process. I want to sleep. Mm-hmm. I want to just like, you know, I want good quality sex. Yeah. You know, it's specific things I want. I love people to court me. I want great, like mind-boggling conversations, because that's what you get me. And listen, at the end of the day, at this age, I also want somebody to tell me, Denise, are you cranky, whatever? Because I honestly say when I'm like a little bitchy, I say myself. But I want a guy to be like, look, I feel you, homegirl. Like, let me give you some space. Sometimes when I am honest and I tell guys, like, I think I need a little space, I'm not really feeling well. I'm at the age I'm very honest about it. I preface it. But some people just don't take that very well. Some guys don't take that very well. And there's no empathy of trying to understand what it is when a woman is in her period, or just cramping, or even just hormonal for whatever crazy reason. When it's that time that we're ovulating, you guys really like latch onto us because we give off that little pheromone situation. But yeah, going back to the age thing, I think that of you having that in that age group is they just think differently. I know some men who think of me because I'm so independent and I like to drive places. No, I went on a recent date where the guy sent a car from Long Island to pick me up, his own driver. And I was like, yeah, talk about chivalry and everything else. I like to be spoiled. I make my money, but I'm not that woman who's like shoving it in your face. I'm that chick who's saying, I'm willing to build the castle with you, homie, if you want. Darling, I shouldn't be saying homie because homie's my friends, handsome. But yeah, that age group thing, I think that people need to, I've dated people much older than I am, 10, even 17 years older than I am. I just think that when I was in my 20s, a guy in his 40s used to tell me that I dated real briefly. He was funny. He used to always tell me, Denise, I just want peace of mind. When I was like acting up sometimes, like silly shit. And I never understood it. Now I'm the one, I find myself telling guys, I want peace of mind. Like if you're too much and you're stressing me out, I just want peace of mind. I get stressed from my job, from constituents, from people in my DMs. I just want peace of mind. Can you give that to me or not? So
yeah, peace of mind shouldn't be expensive. That's one. I want to read this comment before we move on to our next question. Herbert Gilliam, one of our Mastermind Connect members. And once again, this live is brought to you by Mastermind Connect. We're a men's group. We help men grow in all aspects of their life. It's a brotherhood. It doesn't matter where you live. It's national. We have our own app called Alchemy. It's pretty dope. He says, compartmentalizing the heart and sex is difficult for me now. Spoken like a true G. I want to ask this because there was, in 2020, if I have this data right, there was a 30% increase in divorce. We all know that COVID had a lot to do with that because a lot of couples figured out, shit, I don't really like you. I don't think I like you. I just had to spend 24 hours with you. Can we talk a little bit about relationships during COVID? I don't know if you guys, and you can reference like people that yourself. It doesn't matter. But why have relationships become so difficult during COVID, and why the uptick in divorce? It's pretty insane.
Mm-hmm. I would say social media. Social media played a. I'm sorry, Justin. Social media played a part. A lot of it. And because social media is very superficial, so people were infatuated with what the fantasy was, right? So now, especially like in New York, we're inundated with work and keeping up with everything else except for ourselves. So I believe that a lot of the breakups happen because they had no choice but to really dive deep with their partner and then relearn the habits that they forgot about because they were just busy with work and everything else. Mm-hmm. For me personally, of me hearing some of the couples out, it was that. It was more like, do I really even like this person? And I think it was a question more like, I love you, but do I like you? Do I like you? Okay. So
that's real talk. Yeah.
Great points. Justin.
I don't live with anybody. I like to keep it that way, but because what you're saying, Denise, like peace is solitude, number one.
Yeah.
You fuck with my peace and you're gone. So, but that said, I know a lot of parents. All right. I got kids. I'm around a lot of married couples, and I know people who have filed for divorce. I work with a lot of men who are in divorces and recovering from divorce. And Mike, you're absolutely right. There has been a huge surge in it, and people are just getting laid out, like both men and women. They're just getting destroyed. And you see, like, all right, so my kung fu teacher, when I was living in Syracuse, I was about to move here to New York, and he says to me, Justin, remember, wherever you go, there you are. And I go, okay, cool. Like, and I knew what he was saying, right? And it's the same shit, okay? A lot of people, they don't know who they are. They haven't established their sense of being, right? But they get wrapped into the whole fucking cultural bullshit about getting married. Okay, I know I did when I was young, and then they get there, and a lot of times you get fucked. Now, COVID increased that because you can't have all those regular distractions. A lot of people, you can't have you're going to concerts, going to movies, hanging out with friends, going to work, like all that stuff that took you away from your partner, took away from the marriage and the home. You now have all that condensed with so much time. And so you're stuck with yourself, who you have a poor connection with, and your partner, who also has a poor connection with themselves, and therefore a poor connection as a union. And you're forced to deal with it. And the majority are not equipped to do that.
Damn. You just, bro,
Right?
I just want to read some. First of all, I want to read some of these comments that support what you just said.
Please.
You just dropped some gems, both of you. Master Ali 179 says, people can't distract themselves with activities. There is forced interactions, and if you aren't compatible, there's nowhere to run. Rasha Almonte, COVID forced you to spend time with your choices. And then a little bit of light here from Omar Davis. My relationship became stronger as we both worked on our trauma to allow for friendship rather being only lovers. And I'm going to read two more here because these are really good comments, guys.
Omar has got to be probably a very self-aware person in order to do that.
That's the thing. And I want to talk about that. Blah, blah, blah. Guns and Muscles says social media creates an expectation based on the relationship of others on social media. And lastly, I want to just read this lastly. I think social media played a part in the sense that it's easier to hide what you are doing. It made it easy for people to step out on partners. It feeds insecurities if your needs aren't being met. And it's I love what you said because, you know, when we're in relationships, and especially a relationship that doesn't have passion or isn't feeding your soul, man, you pick up all these hobbies. You know, my boy got a divorce last year. During his 6 years of being married, this motherfucker took up woodworking, surfing, shooting guns. I mean, I was like, what are you planning for the end of the world? God damn, you don't want to do everything. And he just spent all his time out of the house, guys trips, whatever. And literally 6 months into COVID, and him and his wife broke up. And I think he's probably watching this right now, so I'm not trying to blow you up. But, you know, it was a real eye-opener, and people were forced to spend time with each other. I almost feel like this. It's like it felt like it was like going to a job every day for years, and you never used to do any work. You used to, like, hide in the locker room and shit. And then they took the locker room away, and now you got to work. You're like, God damn, I don't like doing this anymore, right? So it's like crushing your spirit. But these are really good points because what I think there was a gift and a curse in COVID, it really, to me, removed the illusion that a lot of us were living in or a lot of people were living in. I know me personally, I just saw so many people come into themselves, but there was a pain that came along with it. They either lost or, you know, something got removed that wasn't supposed to be there. So, and Andrea says, who are you when nobody is looking? Yes.
Yeah, I want to mention something, Mike, that you just said, because Ryan V's just said, I will cry if I gave up 5+ years to someone just for it to go downhill. Let me tell you something. Sometimes it's better 5 years versus to 10 years, because the reality, the fact is, sometimes the person's not even really ready to be married. Maybe they're the right person for you eventually, but that is not the right timing. And I say that the reason why I say that is because even my ex-husband, who I've been divorced for more than 5 years already, even he always slides into my DMs. Even he sends me certain things here and there. And at the end of the day, I just feel like it's okay to be compatible with somebody. It's just right timing. Maybe we just have to be mature, or maybe even this person who took up all these hobbies and people think they're wasting their time in relationships. No, I prefer to have at least have the experience than not having the experience of being or what it is to be married. The guy that I said who was much older than me, he never been married. He has a whole bunch of baby mamas. But he felt like I was the one, that God came down from heaven and said, Denise is the one to be your wife. So when people say that to me, I just laugh because I'm like, I want to meet your God. That's the first thing I say. I want to meet your God so I can have a conversation. And then plus I, you know, those are moments that I just say red flags. Let me figure out what makes, like, would you date yourself? I told him, will you date yourself? I had to say that because that left him in the place where he, you know, his ego spoke, but then I said, don't give me an answer till the next day. And he did. And those are things that I value when people really marinate in that question and they're just honest with themselves. But I would never, in me being married and divorced and dated certain people, I've always learned something about myself in the relationship. So it was always a blessing. It's never a waste of time. I say all that to say it's never really a waste of time. So don't take that for granted. I feel that everybody should experience love, compatibility, marriage, commitment, whatever you want to call it, at least experience that once, so that when you do give advice, honest advice because you were there. You know, you took those steps. But don't give me advice if you've never been married. You know?
Been there. I think we've all been there.
Yep, I was married.
Of America. Let's talk monogamy. This is going to be one of my last questions. Monogamy. It's starting to feel like an old concept. And one thing that you brought up was social media. And social media is very dangerous when it comes to being in a relationship with somebody who doesn't know who they are or can't see beyond the illusion. I know a lot of people, a shitload of people. I'm a very sociable person like you, Denise and Justin. And I'll see people's photos on Instagram and I'll see the filter and all this stuff. And I'm like, you don't look like that in person. But I know that because I know you.
Right. I've seen him in real life. I've been there.
This person has 100,000 followers and all these people are like, oh my God, and you're seeing the highlight reel of their life. You're not seeing the bad times, unless that person is very transparent. It could be very dangerous because it's like somebody who never played basketball before, only watching the highlights and going, huh, that's how basketball's played, right? It's right. So it's really dangerous because we're in this age of fantasy. It's just all fantasy. And I don't worry because what's for me is for me. But do you still have faith in monogamy? And I want to open up that question to you guys in the age of COVID, because there's also been an increase in social media use, less human interaction, where I can see every zit on your face and imperfection and decide if I love it or dislike it or not, versus layers of false perfection or whatever they're trying to exhibit to the world.
Well, I mean, I don't give that any mind. I mean, because whenever I've spoken to beautiful women, it's never been about what they appeal to me visually, right? I don't give a shit. That's not hard, okay? And so how I approach it is what is the depth and the quality of your character, right? And what sets you apart from the other attractive women that I'm talking to, right? So show me, prove yourself, right? And that usually shuts down a lot of nonsense, because all these beautiful women, they get blown up on social media, the ego just exploding, right? And it makes them feel like there's value there. Okay. Until they get stepped to by a real motherfucker who's like, well, show me more. Right. Because my eyes are closed. I don't give a fuck. Right. I can replace you. Right. Because I'm talking to 5 other beautiful women. What do you got? Okay. So that said, I am. It just depends on what you want. Okay, I'm not going to judge anybody for not being monogamous. Okay, and I'm not going to judge anybody for who wants just to be with one person, or if you want a triad. I don't give a shit. Right? As long as you're being honest with yourself and you're being honest with the people that you're with. Okay, so don't go out there and go, fucking a bunch of women and telling them and making them think that you're wanting monogamy. Okay, just be straightforward. Just be like, hey, this is my game. This is how I'm playing. If you don't want to be with it, that's
right.
fine. I'll just move over here. Right.
Yeah.
And if you're all about monogamy, be straightforward about that.
Yeah.
Right. Because some women are not going to be into that. They'll be like, no, that's too much pressure for me. I just kind of want to skip around right now. Okay. I want to feel things out. And that being straightforward and honest, it will cut through so much bullshit. But you really have to be honest with yourself. And again, not a lot of people are okay with that. They're not okay with being like, you know what, I really just want a girlfriend, right? And they feel this pressure to be like, oh man, I gotta go out and sleep with a bunch of women, when they really just want to fucking snuggle and listen to music with one girl. And that's fine. Play your game,
Yeah.
I like to snuggle,
Well, I get that.
I'm gonna be the little spoon sometimes.
Listen, once again, I'm gonna go right back to what I said earlier. I think people have their stages and their moments. You gotta just be honest with yourself and in the stage that you're in. Yeah. I've had those moments that I just wanted to date. And for clarity, me dating doesn't necessarily mean I'm sleeping around. I want to make sure I put that out there. Me dating is okay. Everybody can date. Do what you want. I feel that you need to until you find somebody you're more compatible. And then when, as I said before, if you're evaluating where you're at in the relationship, I personally like monogamy. I personally like that because my energy, the little bit of time that I do have to be private time, it's either I'm having a good time with you or I'm home catching up on my sleep, because I'm always on. I'm always on. So once again, my time is more valuable as I get older. It's very expensive as I get older. So that's the first thing. Right back to what you said, Justin. I said this before, even with my last ex, of the real relationship that I had, that was a choice that was one of our deciding factor of breaking apart, was because he wasn't being honest with me. He woke up loving me and making me feel like I'm the only one. And then having this conversation with me of saying demanding that for me. So, and when I say demanding, it's already it wasn't social media for me, but I was a little more public with him, even my family and people. He was around me a little more public. So I was giving him that, but then I wasn't getting that in return. And then when I would mention certain things to him, it was he was playing these games with me. And then I told him, listen, you could do whatever you want because I don't own you. That's the first thing. I don't own you or whatever. But if you're playing around, then at least give me the opportunity to choose. If you're being honest with me, let me choose. In the beginning, we did that in the relationship. Then we took a pause when I was catching feelings, and I was very honest. I'm out. But when I went back and I was like, look, when we rekindled, this is where I'm at. I'm much older. This is where I'm at. I was being genuine, honest with him, and I laid it down. But he wasn't. He just took it and grabbed it and ran with it. And I think a lot of people think that some men, not all, but there's a lot of men who are under the impression like somebody told me that you're an angry Black woman. One, I hate that. Don't ever say it to a woman. Just say that you're being difficult at the moment. I'm giving you guys key advice. Just say that you're difficult at the moment, whatever. When you're in a better mood, we talk. And then, I said, what about me is angry? Because I'm being honest. You didn't hurt me, but I'm letting you know this is the feeling that I felt before, and it feels familiar. So I just want to have a conversation with you about it, because I want you to know those are trigger points for me, and you don't deserve to get the reaction from me because you're not aware of my history. Why is a trigger? So me being forthcoming with giving that information, even that was a threat. And this guy is older than me. Even that was a threat to him. So once again, I'm gonna go right back. There's a lot of people, men and women. I'm only speaking from my perspective. COVID wants people to it made people to really want to find solid relationships, because now it's not about the superficial anymore. At least for a group of people that I know, they want real valuable quality relationships and friendships. But I also know in that desperation, there's there's vampires out there, spiritual vampires. There's crazy people who just want to get in your pants, and there's crazy women who want to just get with a guy because the guy's making money or who has a place. So I'm very aware with everything. I just want people to just take care of yourself, take care of your spirit, not yourself, and just be aware. Like, I'm so grateful I'm in the place that I'm at. 2020 was phenomenal for me. Even though I met crazy people, I was happy that I live alone. Thank God. My peace, my food, my stuff. I wasn't worrying, have my work. And the sexual frustration, like those comments that were coming to me, I was like, there's nothing about me that exudes that. On the contrary, I was exuding like me being glowing and vibrant and enjoying myself. And I think some people misinterpreted that I was loving myself as in I was frustrated. And I don't agree with that. For me, I was so comfortable with myself that I was engaging and bringing men in towards me that even some of my friends, when we had a little bit of indoor dining, some of my female friends were like shocked. Like, you're not really the hot one, Denise, in the group. But I got personality. So I was like, don't hate me because of that. I got personality. And that's what I like from a guy. I like to feel his personality, see if we drive. I like humor. There was little things that I try to check out on people. So I like to do like what Justin said, like just really feel people out in person. Social media, I don't really care about. You could play a front in social media. I learned to just not even pay attention to that, but don't hold those expectations on me that I got to be a social media couple, because I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. I just want to read this comment by Master Ali 179. And he says, I don't think social media has anything to do with monogamy or polygamy. It's more about people questioning those things and the institutions that push monogamy so hard, i.e. the church. Oh, you getting into some other shit now. Okay, thank you. Manny told me to read
That's a big conversation right there, boy.
That is.
I love to get into that.
Great conversation to have about polygamy. And what's it? What's the other one called? Is polygamy?
Oh, there's like 10 of them, so don't even.
Polyamorous.
So I was dating this girl. This is such a sidebar. I was dating this girl briefly last year, and I was like, "Hey man, what's up?" Just catching up with her. She was like, "Yeah, I'm in a polyamorous relationship right now." So I was like, "Okay, how many is that?" It was like, what? It was like 3. I was like, "Oh, so it's just 3." I was like, okay, that's a really odd number for a relationship. And like, okay, cool. No judgment, but it just really blew my mind how open she was as a woman to it. And there's no judgment here. I just think that a lot of our ideas about monogamy versus one's not better than the other. I'm not judging. I have no cause to judge, but I think that's definitely a different conversation. I will say I would love to have you two back. I had so much damn fun tonight.
Is it over?
No, I have like one closeout question because I have to actually.
I do have a story though, a very COVID relationship story. If we can go like a couple minutes over.
Yeah, no, absolutely, we can. Yeah.
All right, so just for like people who are like doubting it, right? Because they're like, oh man, COVID can't get dates or whatever. Okay, like I'm seeing a wonderful girl right now. Okay. There is a huge age gap. All right. I'm 43. She's 29. Okay. And we had met in New York in person briefly over a tarot reading. Right. I didn't know her. It was through recommendation. I was looking for a good reader. And I was like, okay, cool. You come with some, 5-star review. So I'm going to go with you. Had the reading. Then like some time goes by. She leaves New York, goes back to the Midwest with her family. All right. And we talked for weeks, months. Okay. Getting to know each other. All right. And then by the time it was time to come back, and I think it was due to myself. Okay. That she was like, I have to get back to New York now. All right. But also, home pressures, but I'm going to just rub my own back and say it was because of me. And so she had to come back to New York. And when that happened, it was like setting off like a bomb, okay, in a good way, okay. So and we're seeing each other. Things are great, and a lot of creativity. But the point is that don't doubt that you can't establish good bonds without being in front of somebody, okay. Do I prefer being in front of somebody? Yes. Okay. But if you know how to talk to a girl, You know how to spike her emotions through stories and imagination and arousal. Okay. You getting in her head in a good way. Okay. It doesn't matter whether you're typing it, okay, or speaking it into like a message or a video or in person. It's all the same shit. All right. And it was like months just chatting it up online in various forms. Right. And then we get to New York and it's just like two energies colliding. Right. So for those who think that this COVID thing is getting in the way, it's not. It's a really bad excuse, right? Where people are like, oh, I'm not going to date. When girls say, oh, I'm not going to date when I'm in COVID and so on because of COVID. Please, like, if like who's like a male celebrity who's like all the rage? Anybody who's like just real popular, super heartthrob or whatever?
Michael B. Jordan. Women love Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. You're walking down LA with your mask on. People are all 6 feet apart. Michael B. Jordan rolls up, puts down the car of his Benz, and he's like, hey, Denise, how you doing? I saw you just walking the other day, and just now, and you caught my eye. I want to introduce myself. What's your name? Right? You'd be like, oh, shit. You would take that mask off so goddamn fast.
We have the same birthday. I'll be like, dude, we have the same birthday. We went to
birthday. So you know what I'm saying? So you don't have to be a celebrity for that to happen, okay? But so your presence is such, all right, where she's feeling you, it's not going to fucking matter, right? Because if she feels value, gentlemen, if she feels value in you, then it's not going to make a difference that you're in a pandemic, right? But on the plus side, for ladies, if there's some fucking dude who's stepping to you and you're not feeling it, you can be like, I'm sorry, I don't date during COVID. This is just too risky. And it gives you a perfect excuse to like not put people down and make them be like, oh, I'm getting shut down because I'm a loser. And you don't even have to like allude to anything that you don't like. You're just like, you know what? I just don't date during COVID. Right. And that's just an extra rule that you put in front of, chumps. It's great.
Well,
in that sense.
I want to get into about your story because your story is amazing, and I do believe that. I do have friends who actually make connections who met once, they stayed in contact and then came back together. But I think for us, what I would call that is the consistency. If you were consistent in the way you messaged her and did everything, even if you're far away, we females thrive on certainty. So if you make me feel solid, certain, secure, yeah, I'm hollering at you. But if you go back and forth and play these mind games and gaslighting, which a lot of people in private DMs, that's what they do. They gaslight. They do that other thing. What is it called? When they somebody else, what they did to you. I forgot the terminology to that. It's just a lot. Catfish. Right. It's just, there's so much things that's happening with social media. And then even behind the scenes, my friend met a wonderful, compatible person on even online dating. The fire was there, and then like 3 days later it went down. I guess he didn't get what he wanted out of it. So and for me, but then he disappeared, came back. I'm like, that inconsistency drives a woman crazy. Look, we're consistent of getting our period once a damn month, right? We know that for sure. When I'm about to get it, I know I'm gonna get it. I go make sure I buy my sanitary napkins. I provide myself the stuff that I need to prepare me for what's gonna come because it's consistent. If a man's consistent with me, trust me, you're going to get the best energy from me. You're going to get the best of whatever. But if you're inconsistent, don't come to me saying why I got an attitude. You know why I got an attitude, because you're inconsistent. Yesterday you told me, forget the love. I'm going to say, yesterday you told me you like this, and today all of a sudden you're like, why you wearing? Yesterday you met me with makeup, and then today you're like, I prefer natural. I'm like, what does natural mean? Natural hair? Natural what? Oh, no makeup. Dude, you met me with makeup. So get out of here.
Mm-hmm. Guys don't get that women run on a cycle, okay? Like, well, chemically speaking, right? The moon runs on a cycle. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're not like random. Guys can be way more random, right? So it's like you gotta understand that about women. They run on a cycle. Like it's consistent until menopause, I guess.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I know that we go through things, but I just wanted to highlight that consistency for us. That's every woman's love language, and certainty. Some ladies don't know how to voice that, but definitely is key for us. And I'm going to say, we know when a guy is taking advantage and trying to fake the funk, like narcissistic guys, because eventually you start seeing some signs. And if you're spiritually really in tune with yourself, your spirit and your gut is going to tell you, like, move past this one, is not for you. And ladies, now I'm going to give some quick thing about ladies. Ladies, let's not get into a relationship trying to fix somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, my thing is either you take them the way they are, let them grow with you slowly but surely, you know, and then keep it moving. I personally was told that a guy told me that the other day too. And I'm like, what makes you think I want to change you? If I'm having this if we got this far where I give you my number, that means you have more good than anything that I want to change over. Just because I'm questioning something about you is so that I can understand your thought process, so that I don't get offended. Because he said something that was very offensive to me. He said something like, you might be smart, but you're not intelligent. I'm intelligent because of A, B, and C. So I'm like, nigga, like, what the? You know, like, everything, like, face change, everything. I'm like,
he didn't know dealing with
he didn't take notes about poking fun at girls.
Dude, this like that right there switched my whole mood. But you know what I did? I said, hey, help me on I could have been a bitch and hung up on him, right? But I didn't. I said, maybe his English is different from mine. I said, let me give him the benefit of the doubt. Sweetheart, can you help me understand what smart and intelligent means in your language, right? Your definition, so that I don't get offended with what you said.
That's
because
cool of you.
I'm about to get offended, right? When he said it, then I told them, well, this is what I heard you say. And then I told them, let me tell you something. I put him in his place. I'm extremely intelligent because nobody handed me my career. I was born and raised in the project. I like gave him a whole licking. And then I let him know why, if it was my pride or my ego, whatever was speaking, I'm not a person about title. I'm more like, don't ever offend the person if you don't know their story or you didn't take the time to get to know who I am and why I feel I'm prideful about saying certain things about myself. Who wouldn't? So, you would too, right? Like,
of course.
That thing was crazy.
We got to work on our communication as a whole.
Yeah.
You know, it's very important. But you know, I have like a whole party in my house.
Yeah, I hear it.
Yeah, there's a celebration for a family member. It's a small group, but they're loud. Mm-hmm. It's my family. And there's drinks and stuff like that going down. So everybody's getting turned up. So sorry if you hear that in the background, but I did want to say that we should definitely part two this. We're getting great feedback in the comments. I love the flow between us. And I want to thank you guys for attending this and being available, making yourself vulnerable. I know it's not easy to talk about your personal experiences with relationships, but you guys showed up and showed out. So I want to thank you. And this is that time in the night where we want to give the people watching an opportunity to follow you guys and support you guys. So I will start off with Denise. I don't know if you even want to give out your social.
You were just saying.
I mean, you Google me, you find me.
If you want to plug anything that you're working on, take it away. And then Justin, it's all yours.
Listen, I am going to tell people to follow me on Instagram at DFA, my initials, DFA, the number 4 BK. That's more my little ratchet private page, and my Facebook is definitely my political page, which is Denise Felipe or Denise Felipe Adams. I would tell people to plug in, and if they want to get involved politically, wonderful. If they just want to have a friend to just say what's up and laugh a little bit, I'm all for jokes. So plug yourself in. You know, I'm looking for some humor for this pandemic.
He's the life of the party. And only nice guys slide in the DMs. All you jerks.
For real.
No, why? I tell you, watch out for those nice guys.
You're right.
Nice guys.
Nice guys don't pay the bill. I want decent sense of humor, personality, stuff like that. That's it.
Right. There you go. Damn. Well, I'm definitely gonna follow you, Denise.
Thank you.
And same with you, man. I know you got a lot going on. I'm very excited for the Forge project. So let's talk about it.
Building on that. Well, it's a self-development coaching system for men, and I work with young guys, with dating, guys who are in relationships, marriages, and divorce recovery. So that can be found at the Forge Coaching on the Forge Coaching on Instagram. And I've also got a podcast where I talk about these issues and get various guests in of like mostly guys who have gone from complete shit and have completely changed their life around and grown from either being destroyed or from having a tough upbringing or what have you. And so just like little like small heroes in your own society, like not even, big famous people. Right. So in the sense that we can all do this, right? We can all raise ourselves up and we can all become better. And so that's on the Apple podcast. It's on Spotify, a whole bunch of other things. And I think maybe even Amazon. And that's the Forge Project. And website will be up soon. Just working out a lot of details. It takes a while, but I'll be offering one-on-one coaching as well as an 8-week program. And eventually there will be a community aspect involved as well.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you guys. Please follow the Mastermind Connect across all social media platforms. And once again, the Mastermind Connect is a men's group. Fellas, if you are looking, it doesn't matter if you're white, black, Chinese, a candy stripe. If you are looking for a community of men that will hold you accountable, if you want to connect to your higher self, your community, and just be engaged and, meet men that are doing really interesting things. We have a very diverse group of members that are doing things from traveling the world to, working with celebrities to politicians to real estate, you name it. We have it in the Mastermind Connect. So go to mastermindconnect.com to sign up. It is a membership-based group. And also you can follow me, my personal company at the Rebel Camp. You can follow Ocean Phoenix at Ocean Phoenix on Instagram, and I'm Ocean Phoenix on Facebook. And you could actually follow me, check out 2 websites. That's therebelcamp.com. That is my self-development platform. I have an 8-week program on there called the Inner Warriorship Program. And that program actually made me want to start the Inner Warriorship Academy, which is brand new. It's not even a month old. We are in our first semester and we're kicking ass right now. We have some members in here right now. So that's just an accountability community. If you want to level up in all aspects of your life, man or woman, that is the place for you. So you can catch us at innerwarriorship.com. That's innerwarriorship.com. People are texting me. People really enjoyed this conversation tonight, guys. It's ridiculous.
Great.
So we'll part 2 this. We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll talk about polygamy. Who knows? Maybe we'll talk about it. But thank you again, guys. I really appreciate it. And please make sure to follow all these beautiful people. All right. Thank you. Peace.
Thank you, everyone who's watching.